Good morning, everybody, and welcome to ITHive.org's Saturday morning tech show. Glad you could all join. And today we're at episode 18, and I thought we would talk about ransomware. And so we've all heard about ransomware and what's going on. And, I was working with one of my partners, my latest partner, Dado, and my account manager there, and we were going through some ransomware statistics. And I knew this was something on the rise, but I didn't fully appreciate the complexities and where this is going. And so what's happening is in about 2016, and just a brief for those that may or may not know what ransomware is. Basically, you get tricked into accepting something on your computer, and in turn, that activity encrypts or scrambles the information on your computer, and it's locked. And then they hold you, they tell you, okay, well, if you pay X number of dollars, we'll give you the key and you can unlock your data. It's very real. It happens. And people pay, right? And that's part of the problem. And companies pay, and that's part of the problem. So this really has been around since about 2010, okay? But in 2016, it really started to take off. And on the side of the criminals doing this kind of activity, every time somebody pays them, right, it gives them more funds to invest in that technology and trick more people. So please out there, if you haven't done the due diligence to protect yourself from ransomware and you get caught, don't pay, okay? Don't pay, right? He shared again, back, I was reminded of a story, and here's a good example. I think it was in 2016, the San Francisco Transit Authority was hit with a ransomware attack on Black Friday. And it's kind of going to contradict what I said about not paying, but it's going to lead into another story about being proactive with this problem in the first place. So could you imagine that for City of San Francisco, Black Friday, they're not collecting any fares for their transit the whole day? Costs them a significant amount of money, right? And they chose not to pay because they felt that they had their systems backed up. Well, it took them all weekend to restore stuff. So they lost all that revenue. But good for them, they didn't pay. Bad for them, they weren't proactive, right? And hopefully they're proactive today with this. But, the other thing with paying, you're dealing with criminals here, right? So if you pay them, right, are they going to unlock your stuff? And if they do, are they going to attack you again? Right? Pretty much, yeah, they would. So, yeah, don't pay. Better to be proactive and protect. So this is what we want to talk about a little bit today. So at ITHive.org, we, of course, protect our customers with technology that's supported by vendors that provide real support, okay? I don't deal with any vendors that aren't supporting me because I provide support to my clients, and it has to go all the way down, right? That's very important to me. I have dumped vendors that don't step up to the plate and moved on to other vendors, right? And I will continue to do that. I want the highest level of support from my customers because if I'm not supported, I can't give that to my customers as well, right? It's got to go all the way through the line. And so what we do, okay, so everything we sell to our customers has to report back to us that it's healthy. So antivirus software, we use a product called WebRoot. It's a very strong product. It nails suspicious activity happening on the system. So that's one line of defense. If it's not working for you, it reports back saying it's not working. But further than that, okay, I think the biggest defense, because security software can be outsmarted, right? And it only takes a moment or something that was crafty released to the internet and affects, people unaware or uncaught, or software unaware or uncaught. But here's my other side. If you have backups, right? If you're backing up your important data, and it doesn't matter if you're a senior citizen, if you're a young family, or if you're a small business or a medium-sized enterprise or even a large enterprise, backing up your data is everything, okay? Because when a ransomware attack happens, right, you can start over and then restore your data and you haven't lost anything. So a little bit of time to recover, right? But for some of us, that's okay, right? For someone like the San Francisco Transit Authority, not okay to take that much time to recover, okay? So we have that in place. Now, I've just added a new service to the business and an offering to my customers, and I've completed my testing for the most part here, and it is working the way I would expect it to work, and I am quite happy. So this is a backup service provided by Datto, which I mentioned in previous episodes. And there's varying degrees of hardware and software involved here, and so I'm not really going to get into pricing. It's not a cheap solution, but listen to this for what you have, okay? So, like I always do with customers, I point to machines and say, boom, it's gone. How's that affected you? And if I'm not doing that with you, or if you're not a customer of mine, think about that for a minute. Look at any machine in your house, your smartphone, whatever, and say, oh, it's gone. And then imagine how that's impacting you, or how that's impacting your business, okay? Very important test, okay? So if that is a disaster, right, then you need to talk to me about Datto, okay? Because here's what I've got going on. I've done this on our personal computer, and the reason I wanted to protect that is the kids have all kinds of things on it and whatnot. So it's a good test environment for me to protect that machine. And so get a little piece of hardware, sits at home or in your business, right? And you tell it, okay, protect this machine. And it will, on a scheduled basis, and you can set it to whatever, however frequent you want it to do, and it's very efficient. It'll image that machine. So basically taking a copy of the entire machine as it is and store it locally. Now, further than that, what it does is it takes that image and then stores it to the cloud as well. Okay, so you're not just doing file backup here, you're backing up an entire computer at whatever frequency you want, and it gets stored in the cloud and it's protected. So let's say you happen to be, even if you have all the things protecting you in place and the unfortunate disaster happens, you get hit with ransomware, right? We could say no to paying them, and just whatever. I'd like to say, give the bad guys the middle finger and tell them to go away. Clean off that machine that was infected. Take the backup, the last good backup that you have locally or even in the cloud, and we can get it physically shipped to your location, and then we can restore that machine. And Datto is very, very quick at sending equipment around. I've gotten things shipped within a day, and so that's very, very quick. But hopefully we can just restore from what you have locally, right? And then we can do it really quick, and we can do this all remotely too. So, and then we can undo the damage that was done and get you back up and running as quickly as you need to be, right? Of course, there's lots of variables involved, but, again, this is a case-by-case scenario and we need to discuss, right? But there's no way that you can be beat by this, right? So this is the ultimate add-on to the services we're offering, and I'm happy. I have been searching for a solution that does this for a long time, probably since about 2010, and I've worked with lots of different vendors, and they made lots of promises and lots of, oh yes, it'll work, and then to go through it, and some of them hugely expensive products, but when it comes right down to it, the metal, unfortunately, they just didn't deliver, right? And but I got to say, Datto was sort of almost there a few times, and I had to, I've always liked the company, I've always liked the support, but they too were probably the closest in reaching this reality for what I wanted to use it for, the customers I want to service. And I'm happy to say that they're here now, and I'm good. It's working really well, and I'm enjoying it. So, and just to explain a little bit here, so in my office here at home, we have a metered data connection, unfortunately, so it's something I have to manage. So I've got local backups working fine, right? And I requested a round trip hard drive from Datto, which I got like the next day. So what I do is I plug that into their device, and it takes a copy, a last good image of my machine, puts it on this hard drive, and then I put it back in the box and send it back to the data center in Toronto, where my computer will eventually be stored, and they load it up there. And then from that point on, I turn the replication to the cloud on, and then I'm not using as much data on my metered connection to have that backed up in real time at that point. So that's where we're at, and quite happy with that. So really nice thing, even further than ransomware. So let's look at this. For us, that machine, because we all use it as a family, and it's got all kinds of things on it. Hardware and computers don't last forever, right? And Windows 10 is going to stay around forever. So if that computer dies or the hard drive fails, and I suspect maybe there might be a hard drive problem on that machine. So now I have the comfort to explore that a little bit more, because I know I've got a full image backup of the machine. I can do some more aggressive testing with it. But if something happens, right? Let's say I have to replace the machine or whatever, it's a piece of cake for me, right? I just buy a new machine and then dump what we had on the old machine back onto the new one, and away we go, right? So I'm going to do some more work with that and some testing, but it's pretty exciting. I'm starting to see finally we're getting to a place where we can actually be in good shape as far as protecting things. So, I have to encourage everybody to really do some thinking about their technology and how well they're protected, right? And if you're a customer of mine and you see in your status sheet that there is an indication that you are not backing up stuff, you are at risk, okay? I can't make it any more clear, right? I don't force so much on my clients, but I educate them, and I have that conversation with them that, we should really be doing backup. But at the end of the day, if they don't want to do that, then that's okay, as long as they understand the risk. So it's important to distinguish, something to distinguish there. So anyway, back to ransomware. It looks like this problem is not going to go away. This problem is going to get worse, and it's going to become more frequent. There are so many variations of ransomware out there now. It is turning into a huge cash cow for the criminals. Unfortunately, there's people still paying, And instead of, being proactive and investing and protecting their stuff, they want to be reactive or live in the world where they say, oh, no, it'll never happen to me. But you know what? That's probably the biggest mistake you can make, right? Because it could happen to you. So it is so important to be protected. All right. So anyway, I think that I didn't want to drag these sessions on for too long, but we're there now, and 15 minutes. It's a good time. So once again, like always, if you have any questions, just ask them. If there's any comments, just post them either here or, I repost these on my YouTube channel as well. So if there's comments, just ask. All right. And I'll be more than happy to engage with you and explain anything that I explained in my videos, and we can just take it from there. So as always, have a great weekend. It's nice and warm here in Almont, Ontario. It's going to be 5 degrees Celsius, and but that's warm for winter, so that's good. I'm going to do some outdoor work, and everybody else have a great weekend and a great week, and we will talk to you again next Saturday at 10 o'clock Eastern. All right, see you later. Bye.